Hey, welcome. Looks like my camera is dead. Let's get that figured out. There we go. How's everybody doing? We are going to pick up right where we left off last night. Working on this guy. This is loose leaf. We have been we've been working on this top bar, making it progressively less ugly, which is important. And what I want to do today is to continue that trend. There we go. So the main stuff that we did yesterday is this used to be ugly buttons. Now it's slightly less ugly buttons. They have the previews of the page that they're on. So this is a stack of pages here. You can see its first page is the same as a page in the top left. If I tap on the second one, that guy is the same, right, as the second list. Same thing here. Is the same one as the third list, etc., etc., etc. So what I want to do today is I want to work on getting this to show up here in the list as a stack of pages instead of just a single page thumbnail. I want it to look a little bit nicer. I'd also possibly like to get list reordering done, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. What I probably want to do before the list reordering is I want to care about the icon to look like a stack of papers instead of a single sheet of papers. I want it to be a little bit taller so I can have the name underneath the stack of papers. And then I want it to hide and show. So if I'm working inside of a document and I have a page open, right, and I'm writing my notes, then when I pinch down, it's not fully visible. Like it can actually kind of collapse a little bit unless I'm specifically interacting with those pages. So that's the goal. I think that's what we'll shoot for today, and we'll just kind of see how far we got. And nominally, one of the features we need to do is to drop a page. So as you're editing this page right here and you pick it up, I want to be able to drop it onto one of those lists to move which list it's a part of. But we also need to pick up a list to reorder it. All right, pick up a stack in the list. That's what I'm talking about. So maybe we'll do some of that, but first let's just get the aesthetics to look a little bit nicer. So let's go here. We will discard those changes. Stack button view. So we have thumbnails. We have what do we do for? I think srand. Isn't that what seeds random? Yes, it is. Great. So what I want to do is I would like, we're just going to make them fully random for right now, but I want to make, where's our image view? We're going to have 3 of these per page. We have page 1, 2, and 3, right? Pretty good. Page 1, and then we're going to have 2 and 3. And I'm going to have them just slightly offset, right? Like kind of like a stack in the Photos app. I think the Photos app still does that. It used to. It used to have them all just kind of off kilter on a rotation. So that's what I wanted to do today. Page 1. load thumb for image view, load thumb for page, load. Yeah. So let's have load thumb right, and so then we can take this guy, page path, we have thumb path, back pages, so all of this actually is going to go into here, right? And this is going to call self load thumb into image view, page 1 thumbnail, right? Page 2 and page 3, page 2 and page 3, and then page 1, 2, 3, and we're almost done. Good job, us. So that should load 3 different images now instead of just 1. But we also want to make sure that yeah, that's fine. We're not going to worry about refresh for now. I'm trying to think like if the user edits pages, adds, deletes pages, that kind of thing, then we're going to need to update this. But I don't want to care about that right now. I just don't want to care about that. All right, so this guy, we have it. They're pretty big. I think that size is actually I think that size is okay. It's not the worst size in the world. That's fine. We're going to rotate these slightly. I'm trying to think. I think adding a rotation transform on an image view gives you really sharp edges. So we're going to try it and just see what happens. We might have to muck around with that just a little bit, but that's okay. Transform, line transform, make rotation, rand mod 10 minus 5, right? So that gets us a number between negative 50 and 50. Right? So that gets us a number between negative 1 and 1, right? Which is a little bit easier to do. That's a mod 100 because I can't type. So that gets us between 0 and 1. That gets us between negative 1 and 1, right? I think that's what I want. Let's see what that does. I think that'll be okay. And this is why I was thinking about srand, because These are going to be different every single load, and I would like them to be consistent for every single stack. So every time I create a new stack, it's going to have the exact same random piling of pages. It'll look messy, but it'll actually be the same every time. And we'll do that later once we get it looking okay. And I would like to do that based on this UID right there. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to do. Right. So this is if come on, autocomplete. So actually, that guy always needs to get called. So this one we can do first object, because that'll return a nil, right? But then if we don't have this guy, then we need to set its image to nil. Right? Pretty good. And actually, yeah, that's okay. So this guy right here, page one transform, we need to save, because if the list is empty, I don't want that empty list icon to be off kilter, right? I only want page one transform. I only want it to be off kilter if it has a thumbnail. We'll do it this way. Turn yes. And then this guy also returns yes, because it's a white page. And this guy returns no. Cool. So actually, if I'm doing that, then I need to do that. Page one thumb is equal to transform infinity right, pretty good. Potatopulmin, Santi, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Good to see both of you guys again. Today we are working on icons, prettying up the UI. What are you up to, Santi? Santi? Santi. What are you up to? You working or playing? I'm doing a little bit of both. Oh my goodness. They're definitely off kilter, all right. Right? A little bit too much. I think 0.2 is a little aggressive. Let's do 0.08 maybe. And let's also, those actually look like nice, no they don't. They do not look like nice smooth edges. It's hard to see on the screen. See if I can zoom it in. No, I can't. I can't zoom it in. They have kind of jaggedy edges, so we will need to do something about that. What I think we should do is do one of, actually I think I have categories that already do that. I want to add a small transparent border around small transparent border around the image. So we have, that means this guy UI image, is he in the public headers? Yes, he is. Okay, great. Oops. And then he does not show up here, does he? Sorry, UI image. Let's search for the right thing. Yeah. You know what? We're just gonna steal that one header. That's all we care about anyway. A little dirty. Suntae. Cool. Yeah. Now I won't butcher your name anymore. Homework night. Nice. Nice. Play then, right? Having some fun with the homework. All right. So this is transparent border image 2. I think is what I want to do there. It gives me an extra 2. Yeah. A buffer of 2 on the image. And the white thumb, it's a little embarrassing. Let's do, actually, no, we won't do it there. We'll do it up here. That way we're not doing it every time. Right? That would be, that would be ridiculous. All right, and then same thing down here for the missing thumb we don't care about. It's going to be fine. He'll be fine. All right, so that should smooth the edges. Should smooth the edges. And then we're also going to put a small shadow. That's what I forgot to do. I'm going to put a small shadow on these guys. Shadow path, nope, shadow color. Color, black color. Alpha 0.8 maybe, something like that. And page 1 thumb. Shadow offset. I don't think we actually need to set that since it's is that CG size 0? Huh. How about that? Shadow radius. Radius is going to be 2. We want a pretty small shadow there. Actually, that's interesting. That's going to be bad. Because now the shadow, no, might be okay. Let's see. Let's see how we do. Might be okay. The shadow is going to be behind, like there's going to be that 2 pixel gap, right? So let's drop this guy to 1. And this guy to 1, so we get the shadow as close to the content of the thumbnail as possible, right? And we'll prep this guy as well. Thanks, Games and Orvar. Good to see both of you guys again. Thanks for coming back. Enjoying the show. I hope to be a little bit more productive tonight than I was last night. Let's see how it looks. That's not any better. I can't see the shadow at all. The rotation is super slight. 14. I might need to make it a little taller as well so I can give a bit more white space around them, you know? And by white space, it's kind of black space because the background's black, but whatever. There, that looks better. Maybe the first one should always have a rotation of yeah, 0.08. Yeah, okay, so I was only ever changing that first one anyway. That first one does need to be smaller. But we're not seeing the shadow at all. And I think it's probably because these guys, oops, this guy's clips to bounds, that default to yes? Default is no. What are you angry about? Is that defaults to no? Color, offset, radius. Let's give it a bigger radius and let's kill the alpha on the shadow. Right? Let's also start making this while that's booting up. Yeah, that shadow is not showing up at all. Why would that shadow not show up? Why would that still have a rough edge? Better, maybe. All right, so now page 2. What am I missing? Shadow path. You shouldn't need a shadow path. Shadow path is optional, right? Opacity of the shadow. Shadow offset. Shadow radius. False null when non-null. Defaults to 0. Well, that'd be one problem, right? Should probably make it opaque. Good thoughts. Pretty good. Now we are in business. Radius 2. Now we're doing good. Get all those in my recent files. There we go. All right, yeah, that's way better, right? That shadow's too dark, but that's okay. That's a much better look of stacks of paper, right? It's also the wrong thumbnail on top. So something there got broken up. But let's cross that bridge in a moment. We want color alpha, let's do 0.6. That looked particularly dark. And we should see it load that image. That's the part I'm concerned about now, is why that had a fully white image like it didn't find it on disk. Cool. Looks good. I think what we're doing is we're putting these in reverse order. So page 3 was actually on top. Explain it. Turn my air conditioner on. Yeah, there we go. Great. Now I think, oops, yeah, you can go there. Yeah, that's fine. I also want to make sure that I'm showing the entire page correctly. Put these markers here, right? And so now, oh, I also need to turn that off. So now when I load it, I should get blue in the corners of those icons. I want to make sure it's actually doing that right. Yep, feels good. All right, so now let's make it a little bit taller so we can show a name underneath it. Although that now isn't showing. Not showing the pages behind it anymore. How weird is that? It was showing them fine until I made that edit. So this one is going to find, and it's going to find just fine. Yep. We have our thumbnail. Great. And for some reason, page 2, it thinks that's it. It thinks there's no more pages. Oh. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. That makes so much more sense. So I store them in two halves. It's one list, but I store them in two halves so I know where the active page is, right? Like the active page is at the end of one half and before the second half. And since I last edited the very first page, the active pages list of that first half is only one page long, and the second half is everything else. And so what I need to do, all pages, right, is this guy. Like that, and then this is hidden pages. Yep. And then you can go here, and I need to remember because this guy might be in reverse order. So I need to double check that. Which means this will be page 2, and then page 3. And this we're going to put red in the corner. And then page 2, we're going to put red in the corner because we should be able to see these corners when because they're offset a little bit. So that will help us. That will hopefully help us validate if we can see those or not, right? There we go. And it is. Can we see? It does not seem to be loading them. Let's do our quick debug. Are you kidding me? Is there no reverse method on an array? That's just silly. All right, let's try that. There we go. Now we see our red corners showing up, right? Pretty good. That means we see our pages. We need to add more space, especially on the left and the top, because they're kind of really jammed in there. We need a lot more space on the bottom for the name. So let's do that next. We do that here, I think. Yep, so it's 220 tall right now. How much taller do I want it? Another 6, maybe 280 tall, maybe? Let's see what 280 feels like. But then the other thing is, so this is width and then height here. It's going to stretch those thumbnails to be as tall as it wants. And I don't want it to do that. So let's hard code the size right now. Of that size. 200 by 220. Yeah, that's fine. It's not going to give more spacing between the buttons yet, but I just want to feel how high that toolbar is. It's better. It's still not quite tall enough. So especially, so if we do X and then we do plus 20, give it a bit of buffer on the left side, and then our Y is going to be 20 as well, right? And here, this is going to be plus 90 for the add button, which we need to make. And plus 220 is our content size. Feel good about that. I think that'll give us a little bit better spacing. Oh, and we forgot. $320. All right. Firewell, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. There you go. That's better. Feels almost good. They still, does that feel a little squished in there, don't they? Feel close. What if we did, instead of having 5 show up, 5 per page? What if we only had 4 per page? What if we did that? I think I'd like that better. So 1024 on 4 is 256, right? So if we did 250, you know what we need to do is we need to do single stack width 250. And we do, they still are a little bit tight in the corner, so we'll do a buffer of 30 instead of 20. And height is 220, that's fine. Single stack width, that's fine. And then this guy is going to be plus 1 extra stack plus the buffer. I think that's what we want. And this might need to be a little bit taller. No, I think it's fine. Because if I make it taller, the stacks are just going to get bigger. I think we're height constrained at this point, not width constrained. Need more buffer on the left. We should really center those. Do that. That's only going to move it over by 3 points, which is not very much. But 6 times 4 is what, 24? Another 24 pixels on the left would feel better. Another 12 pixels, 12 points, because then it'll split it and it should center those, I think. I think that's what we want. Yeah, it feels good. It's still a little squashed. I think I was right in that it's 24. Yeah. The other thing you notice is the background of those buttons. Oh, no. Never mind. Yeah, that's the pages in the background. It's semi-transparent. It looks opaque. I mean, it almost may as well be opaque. I'm not thrilled with the super dark background. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's right. That 0.2 on the rotation though is starting to feel like a lot. What if we knock those down to 0.16? And that top one to 0.1? See, there's a chance the rotations are just so close together that it looks bad. You know? Like, I almost feel what we ought to do is the first page is going to have a slightly negative rotation. Right? And then that one will have a slightly positive rotation. And then this one will have a slightly negative rotation. All right? Just barely. And then that way they're always definitely at least a little bit off kilter from each other instead of randomly being perfectly aligned, which is really boring. That's better. And now what we need is right? We'll randomly flip these, and that way each stack will be randomly off kilter one of two directions. Instead of the first page of every stack always being slightly offset the exact same direction, right? That'll give us a little bit more variation. The old what's truly random doesn't feel random. Kind of what we're fighting here, I think. That's pretty good. Still have a problem here, like that first one is not. Okay, like let's do that first page. I want to be fairly aligned, so that one's okay. But like this one, we can do 0.3 and 0.7 and 0.3 and 0.7. Just to force it ever so gently farther. I think one day I want to try and get music on these streams. I need to figure out what to use for that. I think that would help. Yeah, I like that. It feels good. Feels good. Now we're going to clean this up. First 3 pages, and I think it's bug 44. Yeah. Cool. All right, next is the name beneath it. That's what I want to do next. To do that, in our button view, we have this guy, and he is currently taking up the entire size, but we decided that actually what we did is we limited it here, didn't we? That's where the height is limited. So I want to take that out. Do right? Yes, that's what I want to do. And then here, this will be here. So instead of using the button's height, we will hard code it there. Okay. And now we can set that here as well. And let's make sure that it is what we think it is. ONG, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so that's actually really terrible. We don't want the in between the stacks to be a button. We just want the stack itself to be a button. So we can adjust that here. All right, so thumb frame. I think if we do that, I think if we do because this guy right here is a scale of it's the same aspect ratio as the page is. And I like that. Don't think it's going to be too small because yeah, we inset it here by 10. So that should wrap completely around just the pages and give us a much tighter thumbnail. All right, which is what we want. Good. Now the other thing that we want to do is this guy needs to oh, come on. I want to center them inside of their square, and then I can get rid of that. Then I can get rid of that X buffer, and that will be much nicer because then everything will be centered in this cell, which is the correct. That's really the correct thing to be doing. This guy has an origin of 0, 0. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And this can actually just be the thumb frame itself, I believe. That makes sense to me. So run it and find out. So now our alignment should be wrong, but that's okay because our cells are actually correctly, the stack of pages is centered in the frame, and so then I can get rid of, why does this it keeps losing my recent files. Did not make sense. I'll restart Xcode in a second. There we go. That works there. It does not work for the empty icon. And that's because it should not be using the frame here. And the offset is also the wrong direction. Cool. There we go. Now the offset is in the correct direction. Center it. And then this path here is 1010, which is from here, just from that. There we go. Yeah, now they're centered. Great. Great job, everyone. Great job. So the other thing we can do is here, we can take off our buffer of 30 pixels as well. And our top wide buffer, because we'll bake that in. This is much nicer. This is much cleaner. This is putting the spacing where the spacing really deserves to be. So now this guy's going to be centered anyway, so he's happy. Our Y offset, thumb frame. The Y offset is 30. Now I think we feel good about life. Right? That's right. Victory. Victory. Absolutely. Oh, look at us. Look at how good we are. Everything's centered nicely. Everything's spaced out nicely. Yep. We did good. Now I also don't know, we might... Let's go ahead and put the label, the list name label down below it. Let's just see how much space we have. I'm feeling like we need to make it just a teensy bit taller. Let's not worry about it until it's time to worry about it, right? This is going to be the name button. Does not have an action. And the name button will be in what, blue? Yellow. That's an exciting color. All right, so the name button is in yellow. It needs to extend basically the full width. So this is button frame. Oops. So it'll be a spacing of 5 on either side. A Y, how tall is it going to be? It's going to be as tall as our full height minus CG rect get height of our bounds minus CG rect get max Y of thumb frame plus 5 minus 10, and our height will be, no, this is our height right here. Sorry, I got that backwards, because that is our Y offset. Yep. It's pretty close to it anyway. We actually probably want our height to have a buffer on both sides. Yeah, I think that's what we want. Sedepati, maybe is your name. Welcome to the stream. This is the stream where I butcher everyone's names. You are no exception. Cool. Yeah, I think that's right. That's the button that the name of the thing will be, right? Set text, set title maybe. John's notes. And this one will be, we'll go to a board meeting. How about that? That sounds highfalutin. We need to be going to board meetings. Should be doing more of that. We're going to take so many notes at our board meetings. Look at that. Board meeting, John's notes. Can't you do the like a minimum font size and stuff? Can you still do that? Can you do that for buttons? I know you can do it for UI label. I don't know if you can do it for button. Adjust font size UI button. Can you do that? Anybody know? Label works. Oh, well, gosh, that's easy. All right, so what if we do that? I want it to be able to support 2 lines. Name button dot title label dot number of lines 2. Line space line clipping. What do they call it? Line break mode, not line clip mode. NS line break by clipping? No, I don't want to break by clipping. I want to truncate middle. All right, so that's 3. That's 2. And this will be, this is a super long title for the button that will be too long. All right, pretty good. Now we also need to minimum font size is not the business. Not the business anymore. What do we use instead? Adjust font. This guy might only work on one line. Well, it's only effective for one line in iOS 6 and earlier, which I don't care about. But I think that's okay. Let's just see how much it fits, and let's also look at might need to set attributed title. Wow, it didn't even cover. Didn't even span the full 2 lines. This is how you center text now, right here. Content horizontal alignment. Guess so. And how many different ways can you align content? There's like NS text alignment center. I don't know why it doesn't just use NS text alignment. Maybe it's because it can have an image, and so therefore they decided a new enum was worth it. Right? And then I want to set the font size. How do I set the font size? Because we can't do that anymore. Might have to do an attributed title. Brantner and Janox, welcome to Livestream. Oh, okay. System font of size 16, maybe. Red, get rid of that border. Stuff up here. $16 is apparently tiny. So set minimum font size. What do we do there? Minimum scale factor, maybe? And it still didn't center everything. Foolish. Yeah, minimum scale factor. There we go. Now it's at least centering things properly. Oh, we still screwed up the empty graphic. I thought I fixed that. This guy. Okay, I already set it to 0, 0 there, so I don't need to do that. Yeah, pathrect is page thumb frame, which is inset correctly, has the correct offset as the outline, and yet it is far too far in. Was it really supposed to be a 0? Maybe it is. Maybe all of my maths are wrong. I don't know. That looks the same. What on earth am I doing here? The bounds is 164 by 220. It's fine. Page thumb is 144 by 200. Feels right. Its origin is now pathrect. Oh gosh. Should do these streams in the early afternoon when I still have a brain on. I create my variable perfectly, I might add, but then don't use it. There we go. Now we have it lined up. Okay, great. Great. All right, so now we're also going to have that button color be light gray, I think. And a teensy bit taller. Awesome. Let's knock off some more on the sides. I think. Wonder if I can vertically align. Can you vertically align text in a button? Or is that still not a thing? I don't think that's still a thing. Oh gosh, 2009. That's not what I want. Yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, we got to do it though. Anybody know? Can you vertically align text in iOS 9? Zero. That's not what I want. Did I add a category for UI label? Because I've solved this problem before too. No. I don't know where I solved it. But not here. All right, so what do I want to do then? So it creates a new button every time we reload. No, I need the button to be the same size, because if I make the button smaller, then actually the text there looks okay, but on my iPad it looks enormous. I'm going to knock this size down a little bit. 22. Do that. I'm thinking is my thought was I could do size to fit, right? And that would shrink the button. X, Y. Why are they so close to the bottom? It's 5, right? And you can even almost just do that. Aves, what's up? Good to see you. That's better. I think that looks okay. Those titles are still a little bit ridiculous in terms of font size. We want to knock it down to 20 and a 0.9 maybe, or even like an 18 and a 0.9. I like the smaller font size better than the larger font size. I like that better. But something's still not right. And green for back button. Just look at this guy right here. That's definitely not centered on the text. This guy's not centered. They're not centered. They're not centered. That's infuriating. So angry. All right, it's because the button is not centered. Okay, fair enough, except it's because I put the 1 here instead of there, maybe? That might have been all it was. Easy. So easy. Great. Very good job. What if we trying to think of how I want to edit the lists. I think tapping the name, I want to open a window. They're also not perfectly aligned over the columns. I don't know if I care about that. I think they should be, because they're close enough that it feels awkward, you know? Definitely close enough that it feels awkward. All right, so if we go here, width is 260, PG. No, where's our screen width? Our screen width we use in here. That guy. I think we just need to make it perfect, you know, just perfectly aligned. Yeah. Yeah, because that way you can only see half of the stack if something is centered. I like that. That's fine. Exo cool. Welcome. Duplicate. Cool. Awesome. All right, a little bit shorter stream tonight. Only a little over an hour. But we got a little bit of stuff done. I mean, it looks way nicer than it did when we started. That's the important thing. Depending on how much work I get done tomorrow, I might stream again tomorrow and try to get editing done for, and maybe like an animation when you switch stacks. I think that would be nice. So let's toggle those things in here. So we have animation when switching stacks, duplicate plus delete plus edit title. We need to get up to reorder. Simple UI for browsing stacks is half done. I want to show the, you know what we can do is we can mark that guy as complete, and then active stack versus non-active stacks, and add stack button. Right? I like that, because we have right now our add button is just that really ugly little circle dot at the end. So that needs to be better. It probably needs to match that guy, right, with the plus, maybe. Anyway, pretty good. We did stuff, things all happened. Thanks for hanging out. If you do want to get notified next time I stream, then hit the follow button or the subscribe button or whatever it is that they call it. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. And I enjoyed it, and take it easy.